Welcome back to Cobbler and Coals. I'm Mr. Tim. Most people think of Dutch oven cooking as just cobblers and stews. Today we're making something a little bit more unexpected. We're making a awesomely sweet, little bit sticky, totally gluten-free Hawaiian butter mochi cake. That's right, a little bit of sweet, plenty of energy producing carbs for kids on the go, and a little bit of something unexpected. Stay tuned. I love this recipe because it reminds me of something that my grandmother taught me a long time ago. Food is love. And this is the epitome of taking that food is love mentality and bringing it out there with you camping. It's unexpected. It's something that people will always appreciate, that you did something different in a Dutch oven. So come with me as I start to get together these dry ingredients, which I've already put in the Ziploc bag, and we'll put these into our mixing bowl, and then we're going to start adding our wet ingredients if the wind cooperates. You know, this is the lovely thing about having your set outdoors. So we're going to take and set this over here and hope that it doesn't blow away. We're going to use a little bit of what I like is the Thai coconut milk. It adds a little bit of thicker viscosity than some of the other coconut milks that you might get out there, and also the evaporated milk. Now you could use all regular milk, which I've done before, but I think that using the evaporated milk in addition to regular milk, you get a better mouthfeel in the end. So let's go ahead and take the regular milk, put that in there, and set this off to the side so the camera can't see. And, always keep your hands clean if you can. And get this whisked together. I want to get this incorporated as much as possible before we add the butter and the eggs. Now, I have the butter that has been melting in that little pot that you see off to my right rear, sitting next to the fire. And we're going to add that and get that fully incorporated with these other wet ingredients before we add the eggs. If we add the eggs too soon after the hot melted butter, you end up with scrambled eggs, and that's an omelet, not a mochi cake. So I think we're at a good spot now. While I go ahead and get the butter and get that started. Oh, that's awesome. So by having it melting over hot coals, you get a kind of a brown butter feel, which just deepens the flavor even more. So like I said, it's important to get these mixed up really good before you add your eggs, because if not, you end up with getting some curdled eggs or scrambled eggs. What you could do, if you need to, is once you get this batter to where you like, you can pass it through a sieve if you have the time to do so, or if you have the equipment on hand when you're at your campsite. One thing I've learned over the years, planning ahead with your eggs, putting them into a container already cracked, helps you to avoid having to have those accidents in your patrol box because you tried to transport eggs in the shell, which is always a bad idea. All right, so here we are with the last of the ingredients. By the way, all of these ingredients will be available at the bottom in the description. So at this time, your batter is starting to get a little bit thicker, and the eggs are getting incorporated without being scrambled, which is always a plus. And the next step is going to be to pour this into your Dutch oven. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pause right here to point out a couple of things. Number one, unless you want to spend a whole bunch of time cleaning up, make sure that you put parchment paper on the bottom of your Dutch oven and spray, if you happen to have some nonstick cooking spray, spray the Dutch oven so that it releases the cake from the Dutch oven really well. And I'll get back to you in just a moment while I get everything ready to pour the the batter into the Dutch oven. Thanks. And now we're getting the Dutch oven all prepped and ready to go for our mochi cake. Putting the parchment paper in the bottom. I recommend parchment paper, like I said before, so you're doing more enjoying of the cake instead of cleaning up after the cake. All right. There we go, pouring that beautiful mochi cake into the Dutch oven. We're gonna get this going. And I'll see you in a few minutes. There you have it. Amazing, soft, bouncy, golden delicious and sweet. A sticky favorite of mine right out of the Dutch oven. It's campfire magic. Gotta love it. It's hard to talk with my mouth full, but this is amazing. Again, I'm Mr. Tim, and I'll see you at the next campfire.